now it's set to consume stack off. What that means is that if either of these gets down to 1, like that one has, if it gets down to just one item in any of these slots, it will not use that item. And that's important because it means that things are not going to lose their order. So when it starts pumping oak back in, oak saplings, they will always go into these slots because they are the only slots with stackable oak saplings. If I were to turn this on and let it use that up, that could take anything. And I want it to have more oak than anything. Although, you know, I don't think I really need these belladonna seeds in there so much. So I can take this out and throw in that, let it put the rubber tree in there. Yeah, and I'm just going to put those back in here so that, well, I mean, they're not going to do anything now, I suppose, but yeah. Because they have nowhere to go, but whatever. Ooh, that could be bad. I could get stuck with belladonna seeds. I'd rather be stuck with rubber trees. I think I'm already stuck with belladonna seeds. Nope. Oh, oak, good. Okay, the belladonnas have gone into the buffer chest, I think, so that's good. But anyway, so what I was saying was, this is a planter, so it automatically replants all the things. And then I have this little filter set up, which means the top left corner, this is the top left corner, this is the bottom right corner, facing this direction, actually, I've figured out, of the land above. And this is saying that the rubber trees will always be planted, or sorry, this is the top left going that way. No. This is the top left, this is the top right. It's hard to do because it's based on cardinal directions and I don't know which direction I'm facing right now. Either way, one patch of this land above will always be wheat, which I need for my cows. 2 patches will always be rubber trees, so I will always have rubber. And then the rest can be anything, and so that's where the oak or whatever else needs to be planted will go. So yeah, harvested, automatically replanted, harvested, replanted. It keeps me full of all of this wonderful charcoal to fuel everything. And then, with the rubber trees, I have these. So these are extractors, which is taking rubber trees and turning it into rubber, which you saw for a split second before it got pulled out. And these barrels have rubber in them. This one is already full. I have 2 barrels because this one got full and started backing up my rubber production. So I decided to just throw another one in there and pull everything from out of here into there. So this way I get 2 barrels, which is 128 stacks of rubber, which is way more than I'll ever need. So once this fills up, I'll have more than I'll ever need. So this takes the rubber wood and extracts it into rubber. There's an extractor here that's supposed to take what's called sticky resin, which is basically rubber resin, and turn it into rubber. And it does it 3 times more efficiently than rubber wood. So rubber wood, you get 1 wood equals 1 rubber. With sticky resin, you get 1 resin equals 3 rubber. So that's more efficient. Resin is also a more rare drop, though. But I also think, in all of my wrenching and trying to get this pipe system to direct items in the right way, I don't think I got the resin right. Yeah, see, the resin is there, and it's just not getting pulled out, I don't think. I mean, we could sit here and watch it for a bit, see if it ever finds the inventory for that extractor. But I don't think it's going to. I've messed up the pipe somewhere, so it no longer actually puts the resin into the extractor. So basically, every once in a while, I come in and manually do it. I tried for so long to fix that problem with the pipes. I tried to find where it was getting stuck, why I couldn't find the right inventory, and I couldn't figure it out. So, you know, whatever. Oh wait. Let's run over here. Maybe it is working. Maybe it's just slow. Oh yeah, look at that. It is working. Okay, so I did fix it. Huh. I'm a little bit impressed with myself now. So yeah, so there we go. I guess that means everything is self-sufficient and working properly. Right, the only thing that doesn't work automatically is this breeder. I don't have anything piping wheat into it. I might do that soon. I probably will do that soon so that I don't have to worry about moving the wheat over. But yeah, so this is my whole setup here. I've got my cow farm, which gives me fertilizer. It gives me mob essence for enchanting. It gives me steak. It gives me leather. Basically, I love this little farm. And then the fertilizer gets used for the tree farm, which gives me wood. It gives me charcoal. It gives me rubber. It gives me apples. I have a ton of apples. So many apples from this farm. It's lovely. I love this setup. And you know, at some point in the later game, I'm sure this won't be enough fuel. But for now, like I said, it's running on a surplus. Which might be because all of those machines over in my storage room are not running constantly. They're not automatic. They're just kind of whenever I need to use them. And maybe if they were running all the time, this wouldn't be enough. But for now, it is more than enough for my little setup. So I love it. So let's come up here. So I've showed you my storage room. I've shown you my setup here. One thing that I want to do also is I don't have any charcoal getting pumped into these from the back or the sides. I'd probably do it from the back just so they're hidden. But I don't have any charcoal being pumped into these. I mostly only use these for smelting all of my pulverized ores. What I might actually do, if I have enough resources for the ender chests, let me see what the recipe is for these ender chests. Ender chests. It requires obsidian, which I can do. Oh, the ender pearls are where I'm limited. So like I said, I haven't gone to the end yet. So all of my ender pearls I've used in other things, like these ender chests, or for making that eye of ender. I don't think I have any ender pearls left. Oh, I have one, but I need two, right? Two? No, I only need one. But then I could only make one chest. So I can use that for the fuel, but not for the items. You know, whatever. Point is, I need to kill more Endermen to do stuff, and I hate fighting Endermen, but although now that I'm all armored up with all my enchanted diamond armor, it might not be such a big deal. But yeah, this flux capacitor, by the way, it charges my jetpack as long as they're both in the hotbar. So if I put this here, this is only a 21,000 RF charge. If I put it in there, it doesn't update very quickly. That's the problem. It doesn't update the display. I'm not sure why it has trouble doing that. Yeah, I don't know why it does that, but generally the way I found to fix it is to shift click with it, or shift right click. And now it should say, yeah, 25,000. I don't know why it does that, but whatever. So now this is all charged. But yeah, so I have all my enchanted diamond armor, so maybe I shouldn't be afraid of Enderman anymore. But you know me, I don't like fighting things. It's why I didn't like survival Minecraft in the first place. I love building stuff, I hate fighting stuff. Which is why the sooner I can get a mob farm set up, the better, so I don't have to worry about fighting things. But that's going to be a while. Because unfortunately you have to fight things to get a mob farm. Or maybe not. I know there's a safari net that I can use in a spawner. Safari net. Yeah, see, that requires a gas tier and 4 ender pearls. Now, I just recently got my bow, and I'm getting used to using it. I don't think I'm going to be killing any ghasts anytime soon, and certainly not 3 more endermen. So yeah, mob farm will be a lot later. For now, I have all the other stuff automated. And so I might be getting into AE. Oh, so the reason I haven't gotten into Applied Energistics, by the way, is because of this stupid inscriber. So to make all of your printed circuit boards for Applied Energistics, which for those of you who don't know, Applied Energistics is effectively like the ultimate in high-tech mods. But one of the great things it does is it allows you to store your items on disks, which has a lot more storage than here if you craft up like 64K disks. I think that means you can store 64,000 items on each, and then you can make server racks full of them. But the important part is that the Applied Energistics ME interface lets you look at all of the things you have in your entire network in one interface and search for items. It makes it so much easier to get all of your items out and craft all your things. You can craft right in the crafting interface, and then it goes right back into your system. It's so nice. But in order to make the circuit boards for that, you need this inscriber, which I have, but you need these inscriber presses. So if I show you inscriber press, I suppose? No. I guess they're each individual things. Press. There they are. Huh. So yeah, there's this inscriber calculation press, engineering press, logic press, name press, and silicon press. These are not craftable. Yeah, the only way to craft them is by copying one you already have. The way you find these is you have to go find meteorites that spawn either on the surface or underground, and then you have to mine them out, and then inside is a chest, and in those chests are the presses. So I did that, right? So the way you're supposed to find these meteorites is with this meteorite compass, which points you to the nearest meteorite. But it doesn't get you there. It gets you to the chunk where the meteorite is, and that's it. After that, it starts spinning out of control to tell you that you're in the right chunk. But then it doesn't tell you at what Y level. It doesn't tell you where in the chunk. So it found the nearest one for me, apparently, but I kept digging and digging and digging, and I was looking everywhere. I could not find it. I ended up in a cave with witches and zombies, and I got bored. I could not find the meteorite, and I got bored. So I sort of gave up on AE for a while, but then I was out looking for roses, because I needed rose red dye for something. I don't even remember what anymore. And while I was out exploring, all of a sudden, I came across a meteor. I wasn't looking for it, but I found it. So I tore it apart and got 4 of the inscriber presses. Now there are 5 inscriber presses, but I thought, oh, I have 4 of them. I should be able to do something, right? I should be able to make something with, what is it, 80% of the inscriber presses? No. No. You can't. You need all 5 of them to do anything. Like, I was here and I was like, oh, I want to do the crafting terminal that lets me craft and access things. So what does this require? ME terminal. I have that made. Or no, I don't. Anyway, calculation processor. Okay, I can make that. I have the calculation press, right? I have the calculation press. I can do that. So it's an ME terminal. Logic processor. Okay, I can make that. I have a logic press. Illuminated panel. I already made before, thinking I was going to be able to go farther. And then I hit these 2, formation and annihilation cores. And what's the problem with those? They require this one requires a logic processor, which is fine. I have a logic press, but this one, nope, it's not the annihilation one, sorry. It's the formation core requires it. Oh no! When you go to print these circuits, right, you have the logic processor, and that's fine. And you can print the logic circuit with a logic press onto a piece of gold, but then you need a printed silicon, which you need a silicon press for. So for all of these things, you need the silicon press. And that was the one that I didn't find in the chest, in the Skystone meteorite. Believe me, when I came back and realized I couldn't do anything, even though I had found all 4 of those 4 of the 5. I was frustrated. Still am. I would really like to get into AE, but I cannot do it until I find a silicon press, which means I can't do it until I find a meteorite. So maybe I'll go really far away from this point with my compass and see where it points me and maybe find an easier location. I don't know. But yeah. So what was I saying before I got distracted by my own frustration? Oh, right. I also have this set up, I forgot to mention. Back here is another extractor. This one is not for rubber. This one is for clay. Because what I found is that I just want to come back here and show you again in case you missed it the first time because I didn't point it out. This sludge boiler gives you clay, but it gives you full clay blocks, right? So 14, I'll take that now. Is that all of them? Yes. So I have 14 clay blocks, right? A lot of recipes. Oh, get out of my way, tree. Harvest it already. So what I was saying is a lot of recipes require just clay balls, not clay blocks, like just raw clay. And you can't uncraft clay. You can't just throw it in a crafting table as a block and get clay back, unfortunately. I wish you could. Oh, you know what? I might lose some harvests items out here. But yeah, okay. But what you can do is throw a clay block into an extractor and you will get your 4 clay back. So I set this up to do that. So I have a barrel of just clay, not clay blocks. And I have this chest with a transfer node. Because when I first did this, I had like multiple stacks in there. So I couldn't put them all into one inventory slot. So I just throw my clay blocks in here. And it goes, transfers them all into here, extracts them into clay, and then this is connected directly to my storage system with some pipes in the back here. If you can see, this entire network of pipes here is basically just a grid connecting all of these barrels together. And so it puts it directly into here, and then I have raw clay to work with. So that's always nice. And of course, you can always craft the raw clay back into blocks if you need them, but for the most part I won't. So that allows me to take stuff from the sludge boiler, and also if at some point I get a shovel with Silk Touch, I'm not sure why I would ever want that. However, the auto enchanter gives you a random enchantment, so if I were to enchant a shovel for efficiency reasons or unbreaking reasons, I might end up with it, getting me some clay blocks, and then I would need to use that. That doesn't seem likely, though, because I have my extractor, which does not have Silk Touch, and I'm not going to put Silk Touch on it. Now, these Tinker's tools, you can't enchant with an auto enchanter or an enchanting table. You can only use the Tinker Tools modifiers. I'm not sure what you need to get Silk Touch on it, but what I really want is looting. And for that, you need lapis. And I have plenty of lapis, but unfortunately, I didn't think about it when I made these tools. So I didn't make them out of tools out of materials that gave you a lot of modifiers. So this is out of modifiers. It has diamond, which it's a stone head, so that I can throw in some cobblestone here and repair it, which is nice because cobblestone is plentiful. But stone heads by themselves obviously don't break through obsidian or higher tier stuff like gold and whatever, rubies and things. So I put diamond on it, so now it can harvest up to obsidian. And then I used redstone on it, which gives it haste, so it makes it mine a little faster. And then I put moss on it, which you get from mossy stone. You basically craft up 9 mossy stone together, and you get moss. And if you put that on your Tinker's tools, it will auto repair itself slowly over time. It repairs faster in direct sunlight, but whatever. So that just lets it last a little bit longer, because it's repairing itself every time I take a break. But that leaves it with no modifiers, so I can't put looting on this hammer, unfortunately. I might need to make a new hammer soon with looting on it. So with a diamond and lots of lapis and redstone and leave the moss off, probably is how I would do that. But yeah, and so then we come down here, and these are, as you can probably tell, my mines, which really are nothing special. They're just mines. But I do have some waypoints set up here. One of the mods allows you to set waypoints so you can see that you're going in the right direction. And they also sort of look like beacons when you're on the outside. You can see the top, which lets you, again, make sure you're looking in the right direction. And then if you look on that mini map in the top right corner, well, it's up here. You can see all of the waypoints. Including, you can see the waypoints for getting back home, and also other places. But, more importantly, you can teleport to waypoints automatically, which is very nice. So if I open up my journey map, and that shows me all the mobs around me and all the stuff, I go to my waypoints, and I have all of these waypoints set up. The corner one, I don't think I'm going to need. I was doing that when I was looking for the meteor. So that's the meteor that I did find. Actually, I can get rid of this. I suppose I have outside. But yeah, so this is the meteor that I did find when I was out exploring. This is when I was looking for the meteor that the compass told me about. When I couldn't find it, I decided I was just going to map out the entire chunk and strip mine the entire thing until I found it. So what I did was, using that meteor compass, so like I said, the way it works is it points you to the chunk with the nearest chunk with a meteor in it. And once you're in that chunk, it spins out of control. So looking at the threshold of when it spun out of control and when it didn't, I was mapping out the corners of the chunk, and then I was just going to tear the whole thing apart. But then I gave up on it. So I can actually remove that. Last west is I'm trying to find a desert because in deserts, well, I'm trying to find a desert and a swamp. I'm trying to find a swamp so I can kill slimes because I have not found any slimes at all, which is very annoying because I need slime balls and they're the only way to get slime balls. So I'm looking for a swamp for them. Haven't found one yet. I'm also trying to find a desert because deserts have what are called cinder pearls, which are these plants that grow in the desert, and they give you can craft them into blaze powder. Now I know I have the setup over there that gives me blaze powder, but one blaze powder costs 2 redstone and 1 glowstone. If I have cinder pearls, I don't need to waste my redstone and glowstone. Now redstone is pretty plentiful, but glowstone I have to go to the nether for. So again, any chance of avoiding the nether is good for me. So I'm trying to find a desert. I haven't found one. I'm trying to find a swamp. Haven't found one. It's horrible. But so what I've been doing is just, I figure instead of going in circles, I just travel in one direction and keep going that direction until I find a swamp or a desert. So I have this last west, which is a waypoint, the last place I was going on my journey. So I can just teleport there and then continue heading west and hopefully find something. But anyway, I'm going to teleport now to my nether portal. So Certus Mine is just a strip mine back on the level y equals 48, which is where Certus is most common. I found a lot of my Certus quartz that way. Last Ender Eye is I was looking for a stronghold. Like I said, I have the Ender Eye there because I was at first. So I saved a waypoint at the last place the Ender Eye led me. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back there, but I figure whenever I do get around to going to the end, that waypoint will come in handy instead of starting over from my base. So let's go to the nether. Let's go to the nether. Come on, teleport faster. Alright, so I have my nether portal here, only because there was lava here. Keyword was.